Hey, this is Subspace Transmissions. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cam.
And this week on the podcast, we are tackling unsolved mysteries of Star Trek. The biggest unsolved mysteries, those lingering questions, those burning desires Cam even has as well.
Burning desires?
Yeah, your words, not mine. You passed me a note before we started recording, Cam. So,
obviously, I'm the Robert Stack of this podcast episode.
Oh, wow, that's a bit of a
voice,
callback.
Very serious.
All right. Cam, we dive into it head on with some of those unsolved mysteries that we never really got to figure out with regards to the run of the series. We go into a whole bunch of them on the show, but why don't we tease a couple? If you want to find out more, click on the link below, find us on the podcast. But Cam, I think the biggest thing a lot of fans have been wondering about is what exactly is happening along with Benjamin Sisko, post his entry into the Celestial Temple at the end of Season 7.
Yeah, last we saw him, he's diving off a cliff with Dukat. And what happened from there? Well, that's the excellent question. It's something that has obviously fueled many novels, comic books, which we, don't touch on too much in the episode because we want our own theories. Like, what do we think happened? It's open to interpretation.
We like our own theories much more than, say, the novels. But I think what we're more interested in is not exactly what happens within the Celestial Temple. It's how he readjusts to life when he comes back from that experience.
Yeah, do you think you can readjust in a way that is in any way simple? Like, do you think Sisko is essentially going through the, 24th century equivalent of, therapy to try and get back to a life with Cassidy and his kids?
So it could give Ezri a lot of opportunities to, crack her knuckles and really get her therapeutic chops honed. This
is the case Deanna Troi always dreamed of.
That's true, yeah. It's going to be interesting, though, because we do know that the What We Left Behind documentary about Deep Space Nine that's coming out in 2018, it's actually going to feature the writer's room from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And they're going to break a hypothetical Season 8 premiere storyline. I have to believe that it's going to address what exactly is going on with Ben. So this won't remain an unsolved mystery for all that long.
That's right. But, to me, this may be one of the most challenging questions to answer that a Star Trek creative team would have to tackle. Like, can you think of another case throughout kind of the series of where a character was left and having to explain their return that would be more kind of loaded with potential pitfalls than this one?
Yes. Wesley and the Traveler. And he comes back in Star Trek Nemesis. That's a big mystery right there.
It's true, yes, and we touch on that one as well. To me, the Ben one, has so much more of an emotional impact with people that, everyone has so much more of, I think, a vivid idea as to where that story's going. I don't know that people really sit there and go, boy, I can really think about what the Traveler and Wesley were doing. I don't think they were as invested in that story as they were the Dominion War and Ben Sisko's arc.
Yeah, perhaps not. So other mysteries that we're tackling as well, we're also very curious about what exactly happens to the Voyager crew after it arrives back in the Alpha Quadrant, because we, other than that alternate timeline that's evil Admiral Janeway is having fun in, we don't really see anything else. We just see the USS Voyager taking off and being greeted by other ships in space, which is a very disappointing end. So we actually talk about and go in depth about where some of the other characters come up. We don't want to spoil everything, but Cam, what are some of the kind of the fun moments that you recall? But what are some good possibilities for some of these characters?
Well, I just have always been haunted by what happened with Samantha Wildmon.
Okay. Yes.
I just don't know, and it's kept me up at night.
Okay.
No, of the group, what is the character, or who is the character that kind of sticks with you the most as wondering what happened to them?
That's tough. I would probably say 7 of 9. That's because I don't know if her journey to rediscover her humanity actually concludes by the end of the series. I think that's going to be an ongoing journey for this character, and I want to know where she ends up ultimately. And if it's based on this alternate timeline and Endgame, I don't like it.
Well, she died in the alternate timeline.
Anyway.
But, to me, 7 of 9 is a character who ends, at least in Endgame, in a very different place than, your Datas or your Odos, where they find a certain amount of contentment. I don't know that 7 of 9 was in still a particularly stable place when we left her.
Not necessarily. Let's be honest.
If you're in a relationship with Chakotay, you're not in a stable place.
I was just going to say that, yeah. Cam, why don't we hop over to Star Trek to the Next Generation? What is one of those unsolved mysteries from that series that kind of pops out to you? Something that, you think they would have addressed it, but nothing really came out of it.
Well, whatever happened with Guinan?
Yeah, essentially, we know she's kind of like one of your kind of hippie friends.
Yeah.
Goes, hiking barefoot in the Himalayas for extended periods of time before finally resurfacing.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the Guinan lifestyle. She's got a bar on 10 Forward for about 6 years. The Enterprise is destroyed. So what does she do after that? She's certainly not opening up a bar in the Enterprise E where there's no civilians. So I just wonder what the future has in store for Guinan, but she's somebody who lots of longevity in her career choices, I would suspect.
I don't see her booking passage on the Titan.
With Riker and Troy?
Yeah.
Is that even a mystery? Does anybody even care what the adventures of the Titan are like?
We obviously didn't.
No. So, yeah, I think Guinan's going to be one of those big ones that we'll dive into on the podcast.
Definitely.
Go find us on Facebook, Twitter, what have you, even our blog. We're on hiatus for Discovery, but we're still posting content, so you don't want to miss out.